The Bank of Canada just hit pause on interest rates again. But here's the hard truth. A pause, although it's not really a rate increase, that's good news, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean relief. In Mississauga and Oakville, the ripple effect could affect our housing market for quite some time yet. I'm Heidi Brown, a real estate broker with Remax Escarpment, and today it's Money Talk. The Bank of Canada announced it's holding rates steady again. So for us homeowners, buyers, and investors, what does this mean? And what should we do with this information? For months, headlines promised relief, but instead of the huge cuts we were all waiting and hoping for, yeah, those rates, they've dropped, but they're not dropping the way some people had hoped. And we can't ignore another significant factor affecting all of this and today's market. It's that dreaded T word. Yeah, tariffs, the trade war. And it's definitely impacting the real estate market, from buyer and seller confidence to job security and costs of imported goods, from new construction costs and more. The impact of all of this is real. And in Mississauga and Oakville, this is reality, but we're seeing a couple of very different stories unfold in the real estate market. On one hand, a well-presented, well-priced home, well, it's moving quickly still. But on the other hand, properties that are even a little bit overpriced are sitting and sometimes not selling at all or getting canceled. If you want to talk about the money things and all of these impacts for carrying costs, if you're a homeowner and you purchased between 2020 and 2022, chances are your mortgage is up for renewal right around now, and probably having to have some pretty tough conversations because your mortgage payment may have gone up significantly. And you may be having to consider a much longer payback or amortization rate. And all of that pressure translates into really lifestyle changes or even discussions that you might need to sell your home. For buyers, these higher borrowing costs mean tougher qualifications and sometimes greater and more hurdles to overcome. And while you might see more listings pop up to look at, you'll also see greater competition with others. So you've really got to watch carefully and watch every dollar. That's why preparation and strategy, whether you're buying, selling, investing, now is more important than ever. On the investor front, the picture really isn't a whole lot easier. Carrying costs are higher, rental yields are lower, and the stricter rules are making landlording a little bit more complex. Well, that's all the bad news. However, there is a silver lining. The rates might be higher and borrowing may be a little bit more costly, but the market itself is down significantly from the peak in 2022, and it's held pretty steady. So the good news for buyer, it translates into a lower purchase price and activity, what makes it more affordable to get into the market. We have a saying, you date the rate and you marry the mortgage. So you could date the rate and buy your lower long-term commitment of a home. And then when you go to renew, you'll take advantage of a lower interest rate down the road. However, that lower interest rate is on a lower purchase price. So it kind of works out. If you're selling, you might be selling for less, but you're also going to be buying for less. So it's not as significant. However, the housing market in Oakville and Mississauga, it is stable with strong and vibrant communities, strong immigration targets, and there's not a lot of new construction. So all of this pressure is impacting supply, and the reasons why the prices in our area aren't dropping the same way as predicted. And the hard truth, well, we're not going back to the days of 1.9% interest rates. Oh, we could only wish, right? This is our new normal. So if you're waiting for the market to go back, you might be waiting for a really long time, like forever. Seriously. So if you're a seller, focus on price and presentation and positioning. In this market, these three things, they make the difference between houses sitting on the market or selling for top dollar. If you're a buyer, make sure you're pre-approved and understand exactly where your budget lands. And that way, when the right home comes, you're ready to go and get it with confidence. And if you are an investor, run the numbers carefully. And remember, real estate is a long-term game. Even in a market like this, the strength of Mississauga and Oakville shine through. It remains strong. And it's not about the interest rate. It's about your home and your lifestyle and your financial future. So if you're curious about how all of this impacts you specifically, and you'd like a customized market evaluation or just an honest conversation about how these options are affecting you and your plans, reach out to me anytime. Thank you for watching. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Together, let's navigate this market the smart way.